So I'm going to talk about the pipeline from object-based capture to spatial audio experience. This is something that we did, I guess, kind of set the baseline for in the early stages of the project. But then really everything that we've implemented in the project has come onto this under this framework. So here's a kind of high-level overview of the system that we made. There's a reference there which describes it in much more detail than I will be able to do now, and that's open access online. So if we're starting from the point of view of listener experience, then first of all we need to kind of try and make the listener as happy as possible. So we need to use the devices that they want. So whether they're trying to listen on headphones, on a tablet, on a well-calibrated surround setup, or whatever, we need to try and kind of know something about their reproduction, and we can take an object-based scene and work out the best way to play the audio signals for them. To have an object-based scene to play, we need to have some audio objects, so they kind of come through the pipeline there. To have a set of audio objects to play, we have to produce them, make a kind of coherent piece of content, so that's what we do in the creation stage. And then to be able to create things with object-based content, we need some objects, so that's kind of what happens here. So we have some kind of tools and techniques to create a coherent piece of content from having various different kinds of audio capture and also visual. So this system, even though it was kind of something that we had to build in the project to make the kind of our research enabled, even already the system had kind of two contributions. So the first one, as Adrian said, was to have audio-visual system interfaces. So at the capture side, they can be used for things like understanding where performers are to capture their metadata, understanding things about the room geometry. And on the visual side, the reproduction, things like tracking the listener to move the sweet spot with them. And then the second kind of main contribution in this architecture is the idea of objectification. So that's, can we use signal processing to help get our audio objects and metadata. So I'll just speak about that for a minute or so. Yeah, we want to try to acquire object signals and metadata and exploit audio-visual information to do that. So for object-based signals, we did some experiments using blind source separation and beamforming. And we kind of did some rough pilot perceptual tests on this. So one of them showed that if we used a beamformer with a microphone array to steer a beam towards the piano and mixed it back in with a channel-based recording, then we could improve listener preference at a certain mix level. Another experiment showed that if we had some competing speakers, and we used blind source separation to extract one of them, then we could improve the speech clarity without degrading quality. So these two graphs are lifted from the paper that I showed at the start, and all the details are in there. Lots of opportunities for further research there. So for capturing metadata, we built in the project an audiovisual pipeline to estimate reverb parameters. Tools to annotate loudspeakers to tell us about the quality of loudspeakers and where they are, visual tracking to track performers, so to link into the audio object positions. Okay, so I'm not going to go across the other parts of the system in that much detail because many of the other talks in this set of talks will cover those. So Adrian already mentioned that we have built an object-based production suite. We've defined a set of audio metadata to go with object-based audio, which includes things to support like semantically informed rendering, which hopefully you'll hear about. Framework for rendering in different ways to different loudspeaker layouts or headphones. Some meters. This one's a screenshot, very small screenshot of an intelligibility meter. We also did work towards metering envelopment and diffuseness. And we produced some object-based content, which is freely available online as well. So that's it really. Here's the summary. So read the paper. It's got all the stuff that I've said in much more detail. And check out the tools and listen to the other talks about those.